I read so many good books this month and I'm so excited to tell you what I read. Welcome to the Adventures of Jizz, and today I'm going to be talking about all the books I read in July. First up, we have one of my all-time favorites, and I completely adore this author, and it is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I read Six of Crows last year, September, and I was so excited. I loved it so much. The characters were awesome. It was just an awesome plot. Six of Crows duology has become my favorite books written by Leigh Bardugo. As much as I love the other characters in the other books, but nothing can compare to Casbreaker and his band of thieves. This I can't explain my love for these people, and I can't explain how well she does plot points, and there are just parts of this that I was freaking out and like screaming. What happened was I started it, I finished it, and immediately I went on to King of Scars. So these are the two books by Leigh Bardugo I read this month, and I loved both of them, but I will speak about King of Scars now. Crooked Kingdom is definitely a 5-star read for me. I think her plot points, the way that she does plot twists is amazing. You never know what to expect with her books. And to be honest, I think what makes these books so amazing for me are definitely the characters. If you love good characters, good character development, just read these books. King of Scars follows my baby Nikolai, Prince Nikolai, and I love him. I love her characters. But in this, we don't just follow the perspective of Nikolai, we also follow the perspective of Nina. I don't want to spoil Shadow and Bone for anyone, but if you know what happened in Shadow and Bone, you know that Prince Nikolai went through quite a rough time, and this is basically him picking himself back up and how he kind of tries to get Ravka back to where it was once. He's basically trying to bring his nation back together. Once again, if you like really messed up characters, you will love Prince Nikolai, just like I did. And there's a certain character in here, Zoya, and I did not like her in Shadow and Bone. I remember in Ruin and Rising, she grew on me a little bit, but not much. And in here, when she appeared, I was a little bit skeptical about her being one of the other main characters, and I wasn't sure how I would enjoy that, but I actually did end up liking some of the things that she did. The ending of this book, well, I was so mad, but good mad, because I'm really happy where it's going, but at the same time, I'm not happy where it's going. I gave King of Scars a 5 out of 5 stars, but I must say, reading the Six of Crows duology and reading her new duology so close to each other was not the best idea, because nothing can ever beat Six of Crows. But like I said, I did give it a 5-star because I do think she is a great writer, and I didn't do it because I love her. I did it because I love the book, and it is genuinely really well written. But I would suggest anyone thinking of reading King of Scars, wait until the next book comes out, because the way that this book ends drove me insane. I still am flustered about it. Wait until the next one comes out and then read it, but wow. I mean, really good. So excited to read more of her work. I can't wait for her new release to come out at the end of the year, which is going to be an adult fantasy, and I'm excited to read it. Next up, we have an ebook, which I read slowly throughout the month, and it is The Girl the Sea Gave Back by Adrienne Young. I received an advanced reading copy, ebook, advanced reading copy by NetGalley, and I'm a little bit conflicted about this because everybody had told me how good The Wicked Deep is and how much I would really love it. Every time I asked for recommendations, it always came up on Instagram. But for some reason, I did not really enjoy The Girl the Sea Gave Back, and I'm really disappointed that I didn't enjoy it, not in the book. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and I am really sad that I didn't enjoy it as much as I was hoping to. It's got lots of Scandinavian influence in the work, and I think I am going to go and read Sky in the Deep because I think I might really like it. I just really want to enjoy The Girl the Sea Gave Back, but I can't change that I didn't like it as much as I was hoping. We follow a girl who is known as the Truth Tongue, and this means that she can basically communicate the face of the future through stones. like runestones. This is really hard to explain. And basically we follow her as she casts a bad omen and the clan that she is living with decides to go to war. That is the basics of the story. I really did love the characters. There was just that extra spark that was missing. Although I did love all other aspects of it. The writing is very beautiful. I did like that about it a lot. The plot was what brought down my rating, which is kind of disappointing because the plot is always great. I did like the characters, although there could have been a little bit more character development for me. But like I said, 3.5 isn't bad, but it's not the best rating. So this year I'm busy doing my honours in English creative writing, and one of our courses that we have to take is a literature course, and I decided to take postmodernism because I really like the lecturers, and it was 3 of the 5 books was Margaret Atwood, and it was one of Margaret Atwood's trilogies, and it is the Mad Adam trilogy, the first book being Oryx Crake. I was very confused at the beginning of this book. I did give it a 5-star in the end, but I was very confused. I had no clue what was going on, but about halfway I was kind of getting into it. The plot was getting exciting. The characters, as much as they're not likable, they're very important to the aspects that this world revolves around. And wow, that ending, I cried. I can't believe I cried, but I cried at the ending, and it was just genuinely quite a good book. I'm not used to her style of writing, so I don't always get straight into it. Like I said, it took me a while to get into this book, but when I was in it for good, and wow, this was awesome. The next 4 books on my list are ones that I read during Reading Rush, which started on the 22nd of July, I think, yeah. And the first book I read officially for Reading Rush was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. This baby right here is my favorite. I mean, it's not my favorite of Harry Potter, but I mean, Harry Potter is my favorite of all books. This book was so cute and nostalgic, and it just took me back to when I was 16, and it was the first book that ever got me into reading, and it just made me completely fall in love again. I've decided to start rereading the book slowly but surely in between all my other books. I'm excited for this reread. I'm sure everybody knows exactly who Harry Potter is, so I don't need to explain this book to you. But this obviously got a 5 out of 5 star for no other reason other than it is brilliantly written. Not because I'm nostalgic, because this is genuinely a really good book. If you have not read Harry Potter, I highly suggest you do, because it doesn't matter how old or how young you are, read it because it is so worth it. I'm an idiot. I had to go and get my book. I read 3 books during Reading Rush, not 4. My first one was Harry Potter. My second one was The Wicked Deep by Shea Ernshaw. This book has beautiful writing in it. It was exquisitely written. It is so poetic. I gave it a 4-star, and I loved the plot. There were a few plot twists, even though I saw them coming, they were still really fun. I adored this, although like I said, I saw everything coming from the start, which kind of disappointed me because I love a book that can surprise me. I really did like this. I'm not 100% sure what it was missing. I think it was missing that extra spark that makes me give something a 5-star. Generally, it is a really good book. If you like anything to do with the sea, if you like sirens and mythology and a little bit of witches, read it, because I think it is quite a unique and fun read. And last on this list, I was so surprised when I read this, and I completely fell in love. Within the first 50 pages, I was taken away. I was blown away by the amazing book that this was, and it was A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Brigid Kemmerer. Oh my gosh, I think this has actually made it onto the list of one of my favorite reads of the year, because I loved it so much. The characters in this are very interesting. The main character is badass. She is awesome. She is this hilarious warrior princess vibe. I love her. I think this book perfectly shows what would happen if any girl from our real world was literally just kidnapped and taken to this fantasy land. She reacts like all of us would. It is so funny. By the end of this book, I was on the edge of my seat, and it is just a really exciting, extravagant, funny read. If you thought that maybe because it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling it would be familiar, it's not. It is so unique and it is amazing, and I definitely suggest reading this. I'm so excited for the next book in the series to come out. There's a plot twist at the end, and I kind of saw it coming, but I wasn't sure it would happen, so that was exciting. Like I said, good plot twists always make a good book for me. This was definite 5 out of 5 stars. So there we have it. We have the 7 books I read during July and all my opinions on them. A lot of them were 5-star ratings, which is why this was such a good reading month for me. If you have read any of these books, let me know what you thought. If you disagree with what I said, let me know. I'd love to hear your opinions on them. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So I was like I was just shipping them hard. I was just like, you're a ship, everybody's a ship.